Good afternoon. It's 12:52 and I got to thinking, I didn't know we'd get so much response for that bread machine. So I wanted to drop in and tell you that the bread machine down here this white one is a smaller loaf, so that's why I use it, because usually Mother and I won't eat that much homemade bread, and like I tell you, if bread is there, I'm gonna go by and get a bite, and then my waist gets a little bigger. But that bread machine, I had to get a new seal for it. So I think I paid $15 for the bread machine, and I found the seal on Amazon. It just goes around the bottom. So if this thing is leaking, then it's probably your seal, and you just look your brand and part number up on Amazon, and they'll usually have it. They're just easy, these keys, they just fit in, and then your paddle, make sure it's on there down level, and that's about all you have to do for that. But that bread machine I had some followers say, oh, they wouldn't use a bread machine. Well, it was a precursor to make you want to make bread, and it'll get you intrigued to where you feel like that you can make bread, because a lot of times I will take that bread machine and do 2 batches, one at a time, until it's kneaded and that kind of thing. Then I'll pull it out, put it in my bowl and proof it, and put it in my big pans and put it in the oven. It's just like having a bread mixer without having to have all these mixers and stuff. As you know, I'm got the cabinet doors off, trying to get this kitchen in order, and going to have the back done with tile that I've been wanting to do for 5 years, but I just haven't had a chance. Now's the chance, I guess. So today we're going to cook with chicken. I haven't decided what, but I thought we might make some really homemade rolls. They're really good. I love homemade rolls, and I'm going to be back here in just a minute and we'll see. Okay, let's get our teaspoon. Love my Dolly Parton dollar measuring spoons. So now we're into our sugar and water. We're going to put 2 1/4 teaspoons. There's 2. And that's 1/4. Well, you can smell that yeast right off the bat. So we've got 2 1/4 teaspoons. Get our little glass jar covered back up with our plastic wrap, so you don't get that flavor taste in there. Put my curd jar lid back on there, and back in it goes till the next time. If I make the other, I'll need it back out, but I can get it, so I don't want to leave it out and let it get run. This old bread recipe I've been using for a long time. Okay, so now we'll I always just get one of my little spoons and just mix that around a little bit. Because you're going to have to let that set for about 10 minutes. You want to see that to where it's frothy. When it looks kind of like swamp water. It looks kind of frothy. Okay. See how that's gotten frothy down in there? That's what you want. Now we'll just add our 1/4 cup. I'm going to use my avocado oil. You can use your vegetable oil. You can use whatever you'd like, but I'm going to use my 1/4 cup of my avocado. And you just put that down in there where your frothy stuff's going. And then we'll flour that that I ground in the grinder. Let me get the bay leaves out of the way. Get those set aside there. Let me get me a larger cup. I get my flour cup. I'm gonna put 3 cups in there, and I'm gonna try to use this flour up because now that I'm using the King Arthur flour that has the no aluminum baking powder in it. I love it's self-rising flour. I love it. I love it, y'all. And it's a lot less expensive than that White Lily. Plus, I can get it in Texas. But I've been ordering it because I want it fresh. I ordered it from the King Arthur flour place, and I just love it. I really do like that flour, y'all. Better than most that I have used before. Okay, now I'm going to add my 3 cups of bread flour, but I'm using my flour. I'm going to just put it down into my oil and water and yeast. All you do. Add that down into your machine. I give it a quick stir. You really don't have to. I'll kind of do it with the knife just to get the stuff down in there. Okay, now is when you want to add your salt, because you do not want to put your salt, and that's a 1 teaspoon. You don't want to put your salt down in that water after you've already got it, because salt can kill the yeast. So if you put it up here on the top, just sprinkle it in a circle, then that will not affect that yeast. Okay, we're going to close our lid. All we got to do, and we'll put that on medium. Each one's different. I'm just going to leave it on auto, and then I'm going to push start. Now that'll start shaking and doing and dancing, and you better get you a pad and put it on your cabinet, because sometimes these things will dance off the cabinet, and you don't want that to happen because you'll have bread explode everywhere. I've done it. I know. I'll be back. Okay, I know y'all want to see down in there. See what it's doing? It's just mixing. Being kind of like that stone ground flour that I ground in my own mill, it's more of it's an unbleached flour, so it'll be a browner bread, but I think it'll be just wonderful for bread making. So once this gets to, let's see what it looks like. Oh, it's getting there. It's really mixing up well. The trick I was going to show y'all is that when I was in college, I did not have a lot of kitchen equipment. And this would be good for someone in a small house, or that doesn't have one of these big KitchenAid mixers. So instead of us going ahead and just baking this and taking that out as a loaf, I'm going to clear my, let me turn this on, clear this. Okay. Now, I'm going to take my pan out. Now you see how that dough is mixed in there. It's good dough. So what I'm going to do then is, instead of me letting this bake it, if I need to, what I'll do, let me see how much for my bread pan. I'll put some oil just in my bread pan. I'm just gonna oil my pan, just so it don't stick. Take that and then I'll wipe it out, just so it's got some oil or grease in it, not too much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little key out that holds the dough in there, and I'm going to just turn this out. See, there's your bread paddle. So now I can just take this and put it down in my bread pan. I think that'll make a pretty good loaf, because that fits down in there. That's about up to a half in my bread pan. So now I'm just going to put this back in put my key back in it, my lock key. Put it down in there. Put my paddle. Always put it together, if not you'll forget, and you can't find it. So, now then, I thought I turned that off. Oh, there it is. Okay, I got that turned off, and then let's do our chicken in just a minute, and I'll explain some more. Now I'm going to take my bread and I'm going to put it in my little oven and let it proof and rise. Then we'll bake it. My dough in the proofing oven, and it's at 90 degrees. We'll let that proof for just a little while and get it to where it's ready to bake. I got the bread in proofing. And now I'm going to use my Instant Pot. So, let me get then we'll do our chicken. Well, this is my original proofing pan that I used to put dough in my restaurant and proof up. Y'all, I tell you, I know that y'all do it too. You have, well, maybe not all of you. I have been looking for my Instant Pot insert for an hour. I have been off here an hour. I do not know where it is. So I may just have to boil the chicken. I do not know how I can misplace stuff as bad as I do. So once I find that, I went out and picked some more jalapenos. Thought I might have used them. I don't know, now that I can't find my pot. So you're not the only one. I'm still looking for it. I'm not going to worry with that pot any longer. So I got my old granite jelly pot. That's the one I'm going to use to do my chicken. And I'll take my chicken that I've took out of the freezer. I'm just going to set that up there. These are leg pork thighs, and I'm going to cut them up and put them in the pot, and then I'll be back. And I got to sharpen my knife. So, let me rinse that off. I'm going to cut this junk off of there so I don't have that in there, you know. I'm just going to put the legs and the thighs down in there, and that makes some good chicken and dumplings. But I told y'all I'm sick of chicken and dumplings. I'm sick of all that I'm just so upset over that pan, I don't know what to do. Throw that fat away. We don't need that old fat. Let me get my hands washed and see. So we got our thighs and our legs. I made a big pot of meat. I wonder if Mother said there's something about baked chicken, but I'll tell you what I think we'll do is some maybe chicken and egg noodles. It's chicken and rice. She won't eat chicken and rice. So washed and put vinegar on it and kill anything that has bacteria. Clean all my utensils up. I could bake that and make the egg noodles separate, I guess. Just decided I'm going to add my chicken with my water. Turn that on high till it gets hot. Get Billie Jean's messy mess cleaned up. So to that I want to add salt. I cook my chicken in salt water because I like doing that. I'd rinsed that well. I'd soaked it in baking soda water and vinegar just to, I think it helps the meat. So we'll let that get to boiling. And the bread is proofing, so we'll get back. I didn't want a big loaf of bread. I wanted a short bread just so we could have enough to butter and eat, because if I make big loaves, I'll sit there and eat the whole thing, and I just can't do it. Bell peppers, and just put them on a tray and freeze them. Then I put them in one of my bags. So this is what they're froze. And so what I'll do is I'll just take me a little bowl and I'll get a few of those out. About like that. They're frozen. I'll put them in the microwave. Put these back in the freezer. Get the air out of them. Put them back in the freezer. Okay, now you see I took them out of the microwave. I only did it for about a minute. They're not all the way frozen. They're not all the way thawed. But what I can do is see I'll show you how they cut up so that you'll know you can freeze your bell peppers. And I just put those in my pot with my chicken. Cut them up. So now I've got those down in my pot, just to give it a little bit of, plus I'll use this broth for this chicken, so I want to kind of pre-do that so when I can freeze that broth off that chicken. Now these Great Value seasoning blend has the onion, celery, red pepper, green pepper, parsley flakes, and it has the celery in it. So if you don't have the bell pepper, cut out and get you one of these Great Value celery blends, and I'll just get a little more cut open, just a little more. I'll put this in a bag, so I'm going to just pour about half a cup down in there of that celery seasoning and onion blend. Wanted to, you can cut a little bit of this jalapeno up. You don't want to I don't want to put too much in there because Mother, she don't like hot, you know. She won't eat hot. So I'll do just 2 strips, 2 little strips. Two little strips. Usually when I made chili, since we're in the hottest state, it seems like I'm just going to put those in just a little bit. That'll give it a little different flavor. Okay, I'm going to move the camera so you can see down on the stove so you'll know what I'm doing. So now you can see down in the pot where I added those peppers and onions and that blend, and then we got our green peppers. So we're just going to cook this till that chicken is just tender and falling off that bone. Since I couldn't find my Instapot, look at my little skillet I found. I bought everybody one of these for a long time and I forgot that I had this one. It's just good for 1 person for 2 eggs. It makes a good little omelet, or a little, if you want to saute some onions or something for a certain thing, it's always good. So let's just let that sit there and boil. We got that old chicken up and it's a boiling, looky there. See that old chicken just a boiling down in there? That's what you want. You want to get it to where it's a boiling. Smells good, y'all. Chicken's not one of my favorite things, but I'll eat it. I'll just put it that way. Okay, let me get my lid right. Take this off and check it. Yeah, that's just getting up there. Take that. Check our chicken. Got that. Want it done. You want your chicken done. And that knife goes through that pretty good. So I think another 10 minutes and it'll be ready to take to the next level, y'all. Okay, we'll let that sit and go ahead and boil and I'll be back. Okay, I'll let that dough proof for about 40 minutes, an hour. Let me get it out and I'll show you. I see how that's risen up in that pan. It's softer. Even though that flour is a brown wheat flour that I had home milled, if you remember. Let me put that lid just a little bit sideways. I'm going to put this back in the oven and start it, proof it a few more minutes, and then we'll bake it. Let's check our, you know, that's getting really good. That's got some good, smells delicious, y'all. That's a good chicken. It'd be a good chicken soup. It would be, oh Lord, you could do so much with this. Let me get our spices and we'll be back. I had to go get my rosemary that I've been let drying out there under the car park. I pull it up and then I hang it upside down, and that gives me fresh rosemary for the winter months. I'll wash that real good, and so then when I'm ready to use it, I'll just take some and put it in my little mortar and pestle. Then I'll hang this up. So here's some more that was into that bowl. You can just grind that up, you know, with your oh, it smells like fresh rosemary. That gets all over Billie Jean. I just ground that up into a powder. Let me get my other stuff. I'll put my garlic in there with my rosemary, and then I'm going to use my herbs of Provence, which it has rosemary in it, but it's got other stuff, and I don't feel like getting each out, so I just buy this. This I've had, oh, I don't know, a long time, and I just fill it back up. I might have brought that from France. I'm not sure, but you can buy it, the spice. Now that rosemary, you know, and garlic, you need that for your chicken. I'm going to go ahead and put a little more salt. I salted that just a hair while y'all were talking. And put a little pepper. Just go ahead and do it all, Billie Jean. That's one thing I don't like, is pieces of rosemary and stuff that are big, that stick in your teeth. Or so now, see, there's our spice. So we're going to put that spice in there. Just clean that out. Sure smells good, y'all. Now we're going to let that marinate for a little bit. I'm going to turn that back up to a boil so we can put in we're going to just put our egg noodles down in that flavorful chicken broth once that gets up there. Okay, let me show you the bread. Now the pan's still not hot, but it's proofed up high enough that I want it. And I'm going to put this on bake now on 350 for about 30 minutes. Now, let's check this after we've added our spice. Now that looks good, y'all. Look at those good pieces of chicken in there. Smells really good. So I'm going to use these no yolk, extra broad, low sodium, cholesterol free noodles, because I don't feel like making noodles today. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to put it in here with this and soak some of that up, and I'm going to put about a package in here because I don't like an open package, because we're run into me having all those noodles that I told y'all I had put back in. I'm not going to do that. And besides, these no yolks are made with the egg whites, so we can strain out if we don't. If we want to freeze it, then we can strain our noodles and freeze them that way. I'm going to just put that lid on just sideways, and it's on about a 6 so it can start boiling, and that'll cook those noodles. I'll be back. See how those noodles are starting to get softer now with that chicken. Smells really good. Okay, we're going to do sideways. Be back. Okay, we got those noodles. There's a bum stick. Put a lid back on there. Be back. Okay, let's check it. See, the noodles are rising to the top. It's the way that they do. Now, probably what we'll do is just, now that we see that, we can cut one and see. Oh yeah, they're done. So probably what we'll do is turn our power off. Let that set. Now I'm not going to add thickener to that like I do my chicken and dumplings, because I would if it needed it, but I don't think it needs it. Because once that cools, it's going to get thicker. So there's your chicken and homemade chicken and noodles. Now we're going to look at the bread here in a little bit and see how it's done. I'll be back. Okay, I got the bread out, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray a little avocado oil all around the edge of that. And then I'll stick it back in there just for a few minutes, and then we'll see how it does. That's the bread. I just wanted to show y'all. I wanted to show y'all how that rose up. And then here's our chicken and dumplings. Not chicken and dumplings. Chicken and egg noodles. That's going to be good, y'all. So I made so much, I'm going to take half of this to my sister's husband is sick. And I'll take them a half a loaf of that bread. And that's what we're going to have for dinner. Visit with them a little bit. So y'all know we'll be back home in a little while. So we're going to have our chicken and noodles and our bread. I wanted to make sure that I got that mixed good. And okay, I got the bread out of the oven. Let me get some challenge butter. Let me get some challenge. You love this challenge butter. It's got canola oil in it. Give me another spoon. Since I didn't have this out, I'm going to just do it here like this. Just let it drip down in there. Just let that just drip, drip, drip. Let me get this. See, that'll just come right out of that pan. Now y'all wouldn't have thought that little, let me get a piece of tinfoil. I doubt y'all would have thought that bread would have. I'm going to flip that out. Oh, it's hot. I have to let it cool. Sometimes oh, it is, it's hot. There we go. Oh, it got so hot, y'all. There's our loaf of bread. Got it, center it in that. We'll let it rest there just a little bit, so now you can see what we're having. I really do wish y'all were here to eat with us. I'm not going to cut the bread because I don't want to do that since I'm going out there, but y'all can see how it turned out. And I used my bread machine as my mixer instead of getting out the big old KitchenAid. Alright, God bless you, God bless us, God bless the United States. Me and Mama are getting in the car and we're heading out. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.